People felt like Taylor led Olandria on. As someone who was there firsthand, did you feel that same sentiment? Oh, shit. My dog's squirming. What's up? Oh, shit.
Hello?
Whoa, hey.
Yo, I turned that off.
Hey.
Yo, what did they say? They said a bad word.
Olandria, you have not been picked to be in a couple. You have 30 minutes to pack your bags and say your goodbyes.
Y'all don't see me crying. It's okay.
You are so strong.
You have to be. Ain't nobody else over here gonna be strong for me.
Yeah, it's something there, but it's just like, if the physical attraction, you have physical attraction, and if it's not there, it's not there. Like, I don't even know how to even get that physical.
And it just doesn't feel real. She's truly been just everything to everyone. Like, she out of all of them did not deserve to go. She did not deserve to go. I want to fall in love so bad, y'all. I really do.
Do you feel like Olandria and Nick's relationship is real? Is this you thinking, or is this your answer?
When has society ever been kind to Black girls? I remember my mother having a conversation with me when I was around 7 years old, and she basically told me a story that I think all young Black girls have to hear, that in a society where white males are positioned at the top, myself, being a Black girl, would always be positioned at the bottom. Malcolm X once said that the Black woman is the most disrespected woman in America. John Lennon and Yoko Ono stupidly said that woman is the of the world. So what does that make us? Black women's experience on screen have never been void of the disrespect that we experience IRL. Simultaneously hypersexualized and asexual. The asexual trope gives way to characters like the mammy. The mammy was visualized as darker skinned, heavy set, often enslaved, and whose purpose was to make the lives of white folk better. Domestic labor and servitude made mammy happy. This harmful stereotype was used as a defense of slavery and depicted Black women as happy with their conditions in the antebellum South and the Reconstruction period. It painted Black people, and Black women in particular, as naturally subservient and gleeful amidst the horrors of the time. This has evolved over time and still makes its way into mainstream media. Black women's desirability is often questioned and discussed. I remember being a young fan of the television show Glee and hearing constantly from white, Latin, Asian peers and fans of the show,
I just don't see Mercedes with anyone. I just feel like she's so good by herself. She's too strong and independent to be paired with any of the main cast.
Mind you, a show full of canon and crack ships that were glued together by the devil himself. It always seemed like Mercedes was the one that was left out. Why was that? There was a lot of online discourse of the great biracial casting of Netflix during the late 2010s and early 2020s, at a time where it seemed like all young adult media could not find Black girls that had 4 Black grandparents. These casting choices reflected a harmful belief that Black women could only obtain desirability through lighter skin, smaller noses, and looser hair texture. The disposable Black girlfriend trope is another way I believe that the asexual undertones of undesirability are often put onto Black women in modern media. This trope is so present in our current media landscape that every time I see a Black girl pop up in a movie or TV show as a love interest, I sigh because I'm like, this isn't going anywhere. The Black girlfriend is written either as perfect or hateable with nothing in between. And even when the girlfriend is perfect, she still has to be abandoned for the non-black love interest who was the other character's soulmate all along. This trope says that the black woman must be discarded as a love interest when it comes to the possibility of romance with any other group of women. And Love Island is no different. I've always considered Love Island a humiliation ritual for black women. While peers and friends of mine would obsess over the show, I was turned off from the very first episode I saw, which was season 4, episode 1 of Love Island UK, where we met a beautiful black woman named Samara, I believe. She worked on the West End, which is their theatrical equivalent to Broadway here in the States. And I just thought she was so pretty and accomplished, and maybe like one of the other girls was as cute as her, and she was picked last, like a game of dodgeball. I was asked to review another episode of Love Island Season 5, Episode 1 for a podcast and saw the same thing happen again. Beautiful Yewande, a woman in STEM, absolutely gorgeous, body T, intelligent, face card, incredible, picked last. It's like, okay, this is the messaging that is being required for this show to succeed. And this is the messaging that we are supposed to internalize about ourselves. The men and their connections treated them at best with blatant disregard and at worst with disgust. They were considered placeholders until a white or non-black bombshell entered the house, and those men and their couples could then recouple with the other girl, sending the black girl home. I had sworn off of this show. I said this is something that I will not give my mind, my energy, my eyesight to, my ratings to. And Olandria Carthen was somewhere in Alabama agreeing with me. She says the Love Island USA casting department had reached out to her 2 separate times before she said yes on the 3rd ask. She only had about 3,000 Instagram followers. She rejected the first 2, of course. Love Island is a huge time commitment. You have to quit your job. Your family's going to see you in weird, vaguely sexual situations on national television. People may reach out to you. You have to go through extensive background checks. And once again, it is a humiliation ritual for black women. But then PPG, Season 6's fan favorites, resulting in a Love Island finale that featured no white contestants, and the series' first black winners, Serena and Cordell. Olandria saw this, and 3rd time's the charm, she said yes. Even I said maybe they're turning over a new leaf. I was wrong. We see Olandria enter the villa with a beautiful 27-year-old Haitian girl named Shelly. I was not watching the show at the time, but I remember social media being ablaze. Like, there are these 2 dark-skinned girls with braids. They're bad as hell, and everybody's like standing for them. Everybody's in love with them. Olandria spent most of her time in the villa in a romantic couple with a man named Taylor, a model and cowboy from a prominent Southern black family. The problem was that Taylor was not interested in Olandria, which he said early on to Shelly's main love interest, Ace. He confided in Ace that he was just simply not attracted to Olandria, but maybe something could grow. Who knows? And from what we saw in interviews, he wanted to pursue bombshells like Andreina and Sierra, who were more his type, before eventually landing on Clark during the Casa Amor episodes. Once Taylor's affection and interest in light-skinned women was returned, he would eventually dump Olandria in a recoupling. Olandria was kicked out of the villa during a recoupling, which all of the other girls sobbed. I sobbed. I was rewatching this clip and I was crying in a coffee shop. But she didn't cry. As her castmates cried, she stood alone, unfazed, and was lauded with,
"You're so strong. You're such a strong woman. You did everything for everyone. You were always there for everybody."
Sound familiar? A dark-skinned woman once again being praised for her selflessness, her work done for others, her strength, her acts of service, and now fulfilling the very last act of undesirability, losing a romantic interest and ending the game alone. But then something happened, a production intervention, a save in which she and Nick, who was also booted out of the other side of the villa, were offered a chance to stay in the competition if they coupled up with each other. There had been some online buzz about the show and a fan favorite crack ship called Olandria. During a challenge where contestants got to choose another person in the villa to kiss outside of their romantic connection that they were paired up with, Nick chose Olandria. She was blindfolded, she had no clue, but it happened. He chose her and her alone. Returned to his seat. When initially choosing the couples, Olandria kissed Nick before she kissed Taylor, and eventually decided to pick Taylor to be in a couple with. At this recoupling with Nick and Olandria, Nick confessed that he always wanted to explore his connection with Olandria, that he found her beautiful and one of the most gorgeous girls he'd ever seen, and he would always tell this to Taylor, the Taylor who was not attracted to her physically. But the save offered them a chance at honesty, a chance at romance, and to explore. And it gave us that kiss in Soul Ties. Sierra, who was the other half of Nick's couple in the villa, was eventually removed from the show due to a racist comment she made regarding her eye shape. And Nick and Olandria had the chance to be together once again. My foot's so asleep right now. Like, I don't think my foot's ever been more asleep. But then came the allegations of scamming. That this was merely fanfare to win the game, that this was a producer-made plot point and Love Island is rigged, that there was no way Nick could be attracted to someone with Olandria's features. That it'd be a month before Nick was spotted in the club with a blonde on his arm, once again questioning the black woman's desirability. These allegations fared even worse when Ace, who Nick called his best friend at the time, went onto the Speedy Mormon podcast and told the host that even though he considers Olandria his dog, that Nick was not really all that attracted to her and doesn't really like her, insinuating that the brand deals and post-show opportunities may be the reason that Nick and Olandria are still together. Side note, if Nick and Olandria is a scam, I want to take part in a scam immediately. I'm recording this on Valentine's Day. I don't think that has anything to do with this. 6'2" fine shit never wants to scam with me. Oh my God, let's like be in a fake couple and like go to Greece for a brand deal, and then we can come back to the United States and get a makeup deal for you, and then I'll go on a DJ tour, and then you can go to Fashion Week and we'll be on magazine covers together, and then we can also just like make out and look great and then earn $1 million at the end of the fiscal year. Nobody like this ever wants to scam with me, and maybe it's me. I don't know. Back to the video. It does appear to me that Olandria and Nick are still together. They were just spotted at the All-Star game. Olandria went to support Nick. They were at the Super Bowl together. At the very, very least, they are good friends with a business relationship that works for them. I think they kiss. They're really cute. While her first connection, Taylor, stated his lack of attraction for Olandria, Nick affirmed her beauty, was kind, courteous, respectful, and presented her with opportunity after opportunity to make her dreams and career goals become a reality. When Olandria got her shine and was no longer as a mere supporting character or background role for the other girls of the show, when she had her beauty affirmed by fashion designers, magazine covers, the general public, stylists, and her romantic partner, it seemed like her female friendships from the show faded away. She didn't play into a role. She created her own. Olandria represents a timeline in which one is rewarded for rising above. A world where the weapons formed against you do not prosper, where the parts of you that may have been rejected and disrespected are revered and celebrated and loved. Olandria represents a world where the dark-skinned black girl wins. Simple. Wins at love, wins at career, wins with the public, even though she did not win the show. I heard something recently that your destiny is like a GPS, that you may miss your exit, but it just takes you out of the way by a little bit, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, an hour. But eventually you will always end up at your destination. The GPS will reroute you, but you will always be where you are supposed to be. She had denied the show twice before eventually accepting the casting offer that led her to where she is today, where she was always meant to be. The racism that she endured, the classism, the featureism, the misogyny, the misogynoir, she rose above all of it. And she did it with class, elegance, and grace. She turned every trope meant to destroy her on its head with ease. It was her destiny, and I have no choice but to stand. I keep fixing my hair. This is so fun. Oh my gosh. Who knows if this will even get posted?